watching TV2 on RVS Cablevision.
RVS Cablevision presents high school basketball. From St. Francis High School, the Mariners host the New Berlin Eisenhower Lions. Tonight's game is brought to you by your neighborhood Century Food Store. There's a smile in every aisle at Century. And by your local U.S. Army recruiter. Hi everyone, Jim Stoll along with Luigi Schmidt from St. Francis High School, where tonight we see the New Berlin Eisenhower Lions meet the St. Francis Mariners. And talking first about the Eisenhower Lions, a team with a good heritage of winning, a relatively young school, about 13 years old, I think, Luigi, but they've won 3 Parkland Conference titles, finished second a few times, went to the state tournament, and really they come at you in waves, a big roster.
Yes, they have a big roster, 2 6'5" starters, including Mr. Misevich, who just verbally committed to Wisconsin. He's 6'5", about 230. We saw him on the floor. He's a very impressive figure. And they have a couple 6'6" people on the bench. They like to run. They have a good tradition, as you talked about, 16-plus victories over the last 3 years at least, and 21-2 and in the state tournament the last about 2 years ago. So Steve Gustafson also has 4 assistant coaches. They have a fine program all the way through in New Berlin.
Talk about depth. They'll suit up 17 people for tonight's ball game. On the other hand, St. Francis High School having a difficult year at the bottom of the Parkland West Conference. And is there any law of averages working in favor of St. Francis tonight?
Well, you would think so. I mean, to their credit, to their fine coach, Terry Benka, they haven't given up. They are 0-9 in the conference. They had only 2 victories in the conference last year, both over Pewaukee. They played this team tough, New Eisenhower. Last time they lost 60-50. They were ahead 26-24 at half. They are not a big team. Randy Crone is their center. He's 6'2". Their other big rebounder is Scott McGurry. He's only 6'1". So they really have to struggle. They got their job ahead of them. They're going to have to play slow down, play tough defense. They've had a couple close games. They lost on RVS to Pewaukee on December 12th. I think it was December 10th, as a matter of fact, 64-63. Had a good game against Greenfields, who's in second place in the Eastern Conference of the Parkland. They might be just due to pulling up, but they have to play very well tonight and steady.
Indeed they are, and we'll see the start of tonight's ball game right after we take this break.
There's a smile in every aisle at Century. You can count on the quality, bank on the price, budget pleasing values on food that's real nice. You'll have a pleasant experience, you've got our guarantee. There's a smile in every aisle at Century. There's a smile in every aisle at Century. Century.
They haven't always been down years for the St. Francis High School Mariners. There you see 76-77 Parkland Conference basketball champs, and just to the right of that sign hangs a banner indicating state champions, Class B basketball state champions. In 1976, Luigi, one of the most exciting finishes in the Class B tournament, as I recall, as the Mariners beat Clintonville High School. This year, however, another story as we get ready to introduce the starting lineups. Head coaches for tonight's game, Terry Benka in his 6th year for St. Francis. Steve Gustafson, a very successful run here at New Berlin Eisenhower in his 10th year. There you see New Berlin being introduced. Luigi, let's take a look at the starting lineup.
Jim Jozwikowski, the senior 5'8" guard, good ball handler. He'll be the point guard. Number 21, you see there's Jeff Johnson, the other guard, good zone breaker, good shooter. Bob Kujawski, he's a 6-foot senior, leading scorer, 9th scorer in the Parkland Conference, with a 13.5 average. And then the big man, the 6'5" people. Here comes number 43, Ross Krieger, the junior center. And number 53, that's Greg Misevich. We talked to him at the top of the show. He's a 6'5" senior. Verbal commitment to the University of Wisconsin to play football.
6 wins, 4 losses. You see it there, 3rd place in the Parkland West. And on the other side, dressed in white, trimmed in red, St. Francis. There they are, Luigi.
Here come the Mariners. Going right down the line there is Scott McGurry, their second leading scorer and rebounder at forward, a 6-footer. He's a senior. Eric Coolio, senior, the other forward, number 52. Randy Crone has been coming on and playing well the last 4 or 5 games. He's starting at center now. He's a junior, number 54. John Quirk, sophomore, the ball handler that they needed. They brought him up about 5 games ago from the JV. He's a young sophomore. He'll be the ball handler, the point guard, and one of their co-captains, number 24 senior Rick Lockwood, the other starting guard for St. Francis Mariners.
Something about the Parkland Conference that brings out these sophomore guards. We saw 2 of them in the Mukwonago-Muskego game. National anthem time from St. Francis.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Obviously, the Pledge of Allegiance instead.
A little bit of difference.
That's right. We don't have a band here tonight, so we'll do it the other way. Just about to start here from St. Francis High School. The Mariners really hungry for a win. They do have a win in non-conference, Luigi.
Beloit Turner in their non-conference victory. Eisenhower 6-4. He mentioned in the conference. They are 7-6 overall on the year.
These 2 teams, as Luigi told you before the break, met once before this year, a 10-point victory for New Berlin Eisenhower. There's big number 53, Greg Misevich, jumping center against Randy Crone. Tip controlled by Eisenhower. Here come the Lions.
In that middle of the jump circle. Randy Crone, a football player, of course, too. He's about 6'2", 210, and Greg Misevich, we said about 6'5", 230.
In the corner, this is Kujawski.
Starting off in a 2-3 zone, looks like St. Francis.
High post to Misevich. This is Kujawski again. They play a double post offense, does the Lions. A near steal by Randy Crone, and he knocks it out of bounds off New Berlin Eisenhower. So St. Francis causes the first turnover.
And we're going to see full court pressure. Steve Gustafson's someone with a hold here right away.
Foul called before the inbound pass can come in. Bob Kujawski commits the personal foul, his first team foul. So
let's see it. Well, the chance to catch it right here. Here comes the inbounds pass. Scott McGurry. Let the little sophomore guard bring it up now.
This is John Quirk, just brought up 5 games ago. Quirk, 5'7", a sophomore. That's Randy Crone out high. This is McGrory. McGrory, all-conference football player. Quirk takes the first jump shot for St. Francis. Rebound Misevich, but a foul called before that. And it's called.
I think Eric Kulyu, 5'2". See if he's going to call. Yes, he did.
That's it. 6'1" senior Kulyu commits the first personal foul on the rebound. And Eisenhower will inbound. Just underway, no score in the ball game.
We're going to see Eisenhower, and they're basically a man-to-man team, consistently 2-3 zone for St. Francis. When you see St. Francis score, you might see a press occasionally, and they will play man-to-man after they score. Terry Bankin likes to switch it up.
Jazwikowski down to Kujawski. Kujawski has the ball knocked away, but he's fouled, and this time it's called on Scott McGrory.
I think he did that very well, Jazwikowski to Kujawski.
I've been practicing.
Right.
I've really been working on these.
Those 2 guys handle the ball and they get it to Misevich. That'll be a 3-man fast break.
Watch for that fast break. We're going to start calling numbers when they do that. Inbounding the ball now is Ross Krieger. Nice lob inbound to Misevich. He puts it in, but a foul called before the shot. That's on Randy Crone, and quickly St. Francis has 3 personal fouls.
Yeah, 3 quick fouls, and they've been in the zone all the time, too. That's a typical lob play. They try to get it to a big guy. Most teams like to throw that lob play, especially against the zone. Here's 4 across now.
Inbounding is Krieger. He looks for Kujawski. Now coming out and setting up is Jazwikowski. This is Jeff Johnson. Johnson, a good outside shooter. Kujawski again. He's been handling the ball a lot on the passes from Jazwikowski.
They're trying to pick across the lanes. Uh-oh.
Cross lane pass to Misevich. Misevich turnaround jumper, no, and an offensive foul called on Big Greg. And so, no.
Something had to give there. You see that collision?
No offense yet in this game, but 5 personal fouls called.
I think we're going to get it right here. Here's the 2 big guys got it. Boom. Yeah, he gave him a little body backing in there.
Randy Crone went flying. Now the pressure and the inbounds pass thrown long, and it's knocked out of bounds. They're going to give that one.
John, give the ball to John.
Let's see, who do they call that?
Well, they're not sure who they're going to give the ball to, I think. I think St. Francis will get the ball.
Officials for tonight's game, Dale Borchardt and Daryl Kaufman.
They were kidding before the game. We said Dale with the light here. And, of course, Daryl was saying, well, he's just the short and fatter of the 2 referees.
Here's John Quirk. He'll bring it up top. Man-to-man defense employed by New Berlin Eisenhower. Crone playing on a wing position. Randy, basically a center. Kulyu has the ball go off his legs and out of bounds. Still scoreless with 6:28 left in the first quarter.
Well, what they're running there is a wing stack, and they get the ball on one side. One of the 2 big guys got to pop up, and they've been trying to post the weak side man under low, and that's been Eric Kulyu the first couple times down. 3-2 zone, really.
3-2 zone. They've changed it a little bit, St. Francis. This is Kujawski. Misevich out high. Cross lane pass down baseline. That's Kujawski. Back on top to Johnson. Johnson's first shot of the night, no good. Up and over the back is Kujawski. He'll be called for the personal foul. And No points, but an awful lot of fouls, Luigi.
Now, how many fouls? Is that 3 team fouls as well?
3 team fouls on each team. Kujawski has 2.
Well, Scott McGurry, here comes a shot by Johnson. He's going to have a nice rebounding position. See, he was inside their top, and Kujawski has to pull the top. First up, Kujawski coming out for
Coming in
Eisenhower.
is Paul Sorensen, a 6'6 junior. So, boy, talk about depth. He can come off with those 6'6ers a lot.
And talk about the front line. They've got 6'5", 6'5", and 6'6 across the front line now, does Eisenhower.
John Quirk looking, now he loses the ball against the double team from the guards. This is Johnson taking the pass from Jazwikowski, and that's the first basket of the night.
And Rick Lockwood's got to come and help out and try to tell John Quirk, too, that he is being double-teamed. Either set a screen or call for the ball, yell that he's being doubled.
On the basket, the pressure worked for Eisenhower, and this time a foul was called.
Well, that's why John Quirk has been brought up. They've been having trouble. One more, and then we're going to get a bonus here. St. Francis has been pressured a lot this year, and Quirk has really been a spark plug for him and handled the ball so well, and he's doing a good job handling the ball early on, even though he lost it that last time. Now traveled by Lockwood.
And a traveling violation called. Rick, before he threw the ball away, called for the travel. There you see him, number 24.
He's one of the co-captains on the Mariner team. Normally with the other starting guard, John Kloppenberg. John's a senior, number 30. We'll see him in the game tonight.
Jazwikowski, top of the key, tries to feed down to Sorensen. It's picked off. Scott McGrory picks it off, and here comes St. Francis. Mariners trailing 2-0. We're 5:33 left in the first quarter. Quirk with a nice move against Jazwikowski, leaves him sitting down.
He split the 2 defenders there. He's doing all on his own, bringing the ball up.
Lockwood off the baseline, off the glass, and good. First points of the night for St. Francis. We have a 2-2 ball game.
A lot of action, but a little scoring. Of course, the turnovers and fouls.
Pass almost batted away by Ross Krieger. Didn't see it coming until the last minute. Almost in self-defense, he batted it away. Here's Jazwikowski to Johnson.
I look for Johnson really to take the outside shot and try to get inside to Kasevich. One of those two looking for the shot, I would say here.
Johnson tries to go down deep. Sorensen picks it up on the deflection, and a foul is called. Rick Lockwood picks up his first personal foul, and that's 4 team fouls on St. Francis.
You know, both teams are going to be in the bonus now on their next foul. Early on to be in the bonus, only there's 4:55 left in the first quarter. There's the foul right here. Sorensen getting hacked. Lockwood coming right around the body.
Dennis Anderson into the ball game for New Berlin Eisenhower. He replaces Jim Jazwikowski. Anderson missed the last ball game for New Berlin. He was attending a funeral, a death in the family. Missed a couple of practices, but he's back now.
So they've got depth. Of course, normally Anderson has been a starter.
End-line violation that time called against New Berlin Eisenhower. Here's an inbounds pass, Lockwood to McGrory, and now Lockwood brings it up.
And they'll give it to Quirk. Yeah, they want to get in his hands. That's what they brought him up for.
Lockwood tries to set a screen for him. Now he takes the return pass. This is Kulyu. McGrory looking for Crone. This is Lockwood. Lockwood's shot no good. Masevich with the rebound. New Berlin looking to run. Masevich looking, losing control of the basketball. Goes out of bounds.
Well, they did call a foul on him now?
Looks like they're gonna.
He lost control of the ball. I thought the ball might have been out of bounds before the foul, but Dave Brenner, the assistant coach for St. Francis, already loses. Ooh, good night. Well,
and he threw a shoulder
Dave
into
McLean
Rick
would
Lockwood.
like that, but this is basketball.
And Dave McLean will see a lot of that as Greg Masevich is going to attend the University of Wisconsin on a football scholarship. He was a first-team All-State UPI linebacker.
They played tight end, too. I guess Iowa, Minnesota, a couple other teams after him, but Wisconsin recruited him. I guess Steve Gustafson was telling us, and Brother Tom, the brother combination here at Eisenhower, said Wisconsin was very honest with him, recruited him as an athlete. They said they'll figure out a position for him later.
Rebound on the missed free throw, tipped out of bounds by New Berlin. And really, both of these teams have their troubles on the free throw line. 58% for New Berlin, 55% for St. Francis.
That's excellent from the field, but very poor free throw shooting.
Crone's shot goes off the rim. Lockwood picks up the change and puts it down.
He's got all 4, Rick Lockwood.
4-2. St. Francis out in front in this ball game. We have 4:19 left to play in the first quarter. Krieger, turnaround from the lane. It's no good, and he's fouled on the arm.
I got a feeling it's going to be one of those nights when you have a lot of fouls. We certainly had set the tone already. But we have 16 fouls so far in St. Francis and, 5 on New Berlin, so a lot of fouls already.
Both teams in the bonus right now.
He's got Kulyu on the arm there, Jim. He's going to come out, Jost in.
Pat Jost seeing his first action of the night for the Mariners. He's a 6'1 junior. Last time we had St. Francis on RVS, Jost was a starter.
Jost has been up and down. Junior with a lot of talent. He can, not be around for half and second half, light the team on fire. And I think he had about 10 points, if I remember correctly, in the first time we saw him when they played Pewaukee. I think all 10 of those points were in the second half. Troubles on the free throw line yet.
Ross Krieger He's the leading rebounder, although Krieger, Kujawski, and Basevich all are very close in rebounding stats. And Krieger hits the second free throw. It's 4-3. And here's a takeaway by New Berlin. Jeff Johnson picking off the ball. Coming down with it is Dennis Anderson. Turns around on Quirk, feeds down baseline. This is Krieger. Krieger from the baseline. He has 3, and it's 5-4 New Berlin.
Well, New Berlin coaches were calling out man-to-man. Randy Crone, I think, might have been a little late in picking up on the defense. When they score St. Francis, they go into man-to-man. When they don't, they play zone. So they're trying to switch up like a lot of teams like to do. Terry Banka likes to do that.
Lob feed for Crone, taken away by Sorensen while he was flat on his back. And a ball goes out of bounds, and it'll be given back to St. Francis. No, now they change it. Now they're going to give it to New Berlin.
Yeah, I think so. I think Rick Lockwood was going after and hit it on the line.
This is Sorensen to Johnson. Johnson looking for someplace to go. Dennis Anderson now. St. Francis employing that zone defense as they have all this first quarter. Johnson almost had the shot for a moment. Quirk takes the ball away. Coming down against 2 New Berlin players. Puts up the attempted layup, no good. Anderson loses control of the rebound, but it goes through the legs of Quirk, out of bounds. New Berlin takes it. Jaswikowski back into the lineup for New Berlin. He'll replace Dennis Anderson. Anderson sitting down. Jeff Johnson thought he was going to get a rest there, but he's staying in.
Well, I think Coach Gustafson knows that when St. Francis doesn't score now, I think he's got the pattern. They're going to be in his zone. Otherwise, they have played man-to-man on several occasions. Of course, they've only scored 2 baskets, both by Rick Lockwood. So Johnson, their zone shooter, he wants Johnson, I think, try to take a couple shots from outside, loosen up the inside.
Sitting in that 3-2 zone, St. Francis. Actually, it's kind of a 2-1-2 with McGrory moving it back and forth in the center position, and the hands of St. Francis pick up the loose ball.
You got to be careful when you get that ball in the middle, especially in the zone. You know there's going to be hands all over the place, so you got to guard that ball, keep it inside, and get the elbows out.
Crone spins away from Sorensen. Now bounce feed in the middle to Jost. He tries to pass to McGrory. McGrory's got it. Fires out on top to Quirk, and they'll set it up all over again. Quirk to a cutting Jost. Jost puts up the shot and scores.
Yeah, that was a good lesson. You know, when you're overplayed, you go to the basket. And, of course, New Berlin plays that tough man-to-man defense, and once in a while you're going to get burned. Because you play aggressive, you can go backdoor on teams once in a while. Well, second on Randy they're going to call.
Krieger had the basketball right at the free throw circle, and as he spun toward the basket, Randy Crone going for the basketball fouled him. Randy's second personal foul.
There you see it, Randy, John Quirk, Randy gets a foul. You don't want to get a foul out there with your big center over 20 feet from the basket.
6-5 the score. St. Francis in front with 2:35 left in the first quarter. Ross Krieger, 1 for 2 from the free throw line, 1 for 3 on the 1-and-1. Crone has the rebound, knocked loose, and Quirk picks it up. Here comes Little John.
Quick Johnny Quirk. Oh,
John
pressuring him.
Goes to his knees, and a foul is called right at half court. This is going to be on New Berlin.
Well, both coaches, I think, are going to have to make a little adjustments. Tell their players, here's John Quirk picking up the ball. Here comes a foul. Number 43, Ross Krieger, their 6'5" center, picking up the foul. And they're calling him very close. They're calling any kind of contact. And the players must adjust that. The referees have shown in this first quarter that any kind of contact, they're going to call a foul. And the coaches got to get them together and say, you have to watch it. Any hands inside, you're going to get caught for it.
McGrory, the second leading scorer and rebounder for St. Francis, puts in his first point of the night.
And if they don't adjust to that, it's going to be a long night on the free throw line. We're going to see a slow game because of a lot of stopping of the clock because of fouls.
John Kloppenberg entering the St. Francis lineup. He'll replace big Randy Crone, who comes for a little breather.
You know, I would think this would work, although I think Eisenhower has the better depth. A slower pace game would help St. Francis. New Berlin likes to get out. We saw in the JV game they were running very well, throwing full court passes. Their JV won 65-54 over St. Francis. So this might be just a little bit of the doctor order for St. Francis. They got to make their free throws when they get opportunities.
2 for 2 for McGrory, and it's a 3-point lead for St. Francis. Here comes Dennis Anderson. Jaswikowski against Quirk. This is Anderson.
Now see, they scored, so St. Francis in a man-to-man now.
Karl Hein.
Eisenhower didn't realize that right away, Jim.
Karl Hein is in the lineup now for New Berlin. That's him with the ball, number 33.
We played a lot of people already, about 9 people, and Hein has started before as well.
Hines got the basketball, fakes past Jost, puts up the shot, scores. Let's see if it counts. Lockwood called for the personal foul. Yeah, they're going to give him the basket. Lockwood with his second personal foul, and the basket goes by Karl Hein.
Here it is, a nice fake by Hein. Going to get Jost off his feet, goes in, Lockwood on the arm, and there's going to be a 3-point possibility.
And Hines about the best free throw shooter we see here tonight on the season, about 85%, 17 for 21 from the stripe.
And that's of a team who does not shoot well from the free throw line. Both teams in that 57, 58% category, and that's not good free throw shooting.
Jay Saskowski into the lineup, quarterback from the football team, Jay number 34, as John Kloppenberg tries to inbound the ball. John Quirk. Quirk's one of the few guys who hasn't had a chance to sit down here in the first quarter. As you see the score tied.
You're not going to see him sit down either, more than likely, because he's their ball handler. They're going with him all the way. That's what they brought him up for.
Jost has the ball stripped by Ross Krieger, and here comes Eisenhower. Long pass, too long by Jazbakowski that time. And with 1:38 left in the quarter, score tied. St. Francis has a chance to take the lead.
And that's what happens when you don't have a chance to run. Obviously, Eisenhower wants to run. That's really the first opportunity, and then maybe the second one in the entire first quarter. And sometimes you get a little wild because you want to establish that running game, and they just haven't had a chance to. Haven't had the pace of this game. Too many fouls.
Tried to step up the tempo just a little bit. St. Francis staying even with New Berlin so far. St. Francis looking for the first conference win of this season.
This is a little reminiscent of their first game at Eisenhower. St. Francis, matter of fact, led at half 26-24 in the first encounter. Finally, Eisenhower pulling off the victory of 60-50.
Jost with the jump shot, no good. Rebound, no one there but New Berlin. Down they come quickly. Anderson. Jazbakowski looking down deep, baseline. Krieger, reverse layup. Ross Krieger with 5 points.
And see, when you run, you don't have to get a fast break all the time. You can just beat the rest of the team down. They don't have a chance to step their defense. Quirk with a nice job in the backcourt.
Now 3-on-2 St. Francis. They get it to Jost, and Jost is called for the travel. Dennis Anderson crowded him on the baseline, and Pat Jost committed the turnover.
Well, they had it set up there. Saskowski, quarterback first few games. Here it comes. Saskowski, really Joe should have been going to the basket on that.
Jeff Johnson returns to the Lion lineup, and now another substitute. Jeff Brazkala is getting ready to make his first appearance in the ball game.
He was going to be the starting point guard as soon as he gets in. It broke his arm to begin the season. Just now rounding back into shape.
45 seconds left in the quarter. 10-8. New Berlin in the lead. St. Francis has had a lead of 3 points in this quarter. Pass batted up in the air, picked up by Kloppenberg, and a foul will be called as Kloppenberg went up to pick up the deflection.
Carl Hine, I think, got the foul, Jim, and St. Francis, because they haven't been scoring, has played that zone. I think that zone's been pretty effective for them, too. It's kept getting the ball inside for the most part, and I think they're more vulnerable in the man-to-man because of the height advantage of Eisenhower. There's Hine with the foul on Kloppenberg. Everybody's been in the bonus for about 3 minutes.
John Kloppenberg, and you know, fouls were a real problem for New Berlin in their last game. The Lions lost by 3 points to Whitnall. They had a lead of up to 13 points in that ball game, Luigi, and they managed to foul out their entire starting front line.
You know, it's interesting when you look at the different conferences and the picks early on this season in the Western Conference here, the smaller schools division, population-wise in the Parkland. West, Whitnall, and New Berlin and Eisenhower, they were the top 3. They are still the top 3. Of course, the West, Kettle Moraine is up there, and Brookfield Central, Sussex Hamilton was picked in the Braveland. They're up there in the Braveland. Marquette was picked in the Metro. They're there in the Metro. And the Suburban Conference, Waukesha North and King were picked, and they're up there. So all the teams are in the beginning of the year, they're all up there now.
3-second violation against New Berlin, and with 22 seconds left, St. Francis has a chance to take the lead before the end of the quarter. Kloppenberg inbounding. Quirk batted away that time by Brazkala.
Well, I would really double-team Quirk. I think Steve Gustafson might make a little switch here at the end of the first quarter. You really got to get the ball out of Quirk's hands. It's pretty obvious St. Francis wants him to get the ball every time if possible.
The inbounds comes to Pat Jost. Kloppenberg has it now.
He wanted to get in Quirk's hands and set it up. He's coming back to the ball now, see?
Quirk looking. 10 seconds left.
Got to go to the basket right now.
Quirk, 6 seconds. Here comes Quirk. Quirk will stop for the jump shot. It's blocked by Johnson. Here comes New Berlin. They get a long shot up. It's off the glass, but no good. So, dead even first quarter, Luigi. 10-10 your score. We'll be back with more right after this word.
You're reaching deep inside you for things you've never known. It's been tough, rough going, but you haven't gone alone.
Specialist Kevin Crowley is working with tomorrow's technology in the Army's newest tank.
Be all that you can be.
The laser determines target range and feeds it to the computer.
Be all that you can be.
It's just incredible.
You can do it in the Army.
your local Army recruiter in New Berlin. It's Sergeant Godby, 547-5902.
Smile in every aisle at Century. You can count on the quality, bank on the price. Budget pleasing values on food that's real nice. You'll have a pleasant experience, you've got our guarantee. There's a smile in every aisle at Century. There's a smile in every aisle at Century. Century.
Just about set now for the tip. Second quarter, there it is. Coming down, Masevich tips it over to Jim Jozwikowski, and we're underway.
An adventure in every tip in high school basketball.
Original starters back in the lineup now for New Berlin. Krieger, Masevich, and Kujawski on the front line. Johnson and Jozwikowski on the back line. Pass goes down through the hands of St. Francis and out of bounds. They say Kloppenberg tipped it.
There's the man they want to get going, though, not number 43, 25. Just went off his hands almost. Bob Kujawski, leading scorer. Really, I don't think he's only put up the ball maybe once in the entire first quarter. He had some foul trouble, went out.
Turnaround by Krieger, and Ross Krieger is having a good first half. That's his 7th point out of 12 for New Berlin. They ease back on the pressure now, New Berlin. Now they're playing a zone press.
Yeah, 2-2-1 zone press. Man wasn't very effective, and St. Francis recognized it well. He got the ball down court.
That they did. They found McGrory open. Now they're working in their half court.
Let's see if Eisenhower dropped back in his zone, Jim.
1-2-2 zone being played by New Berlin Eisenhower. This is Quirk up on top.
That's tough to tell sometimes a 1-2-2 or a 3-2. A lot of teams playing that 3-2 now.
They find the pass on the weak side. Saskowski puts up the shot. He scores, but they won't count it. 3-second violation. Turnover, St. Francis.
Mike Elliott would love it. One of his favorites, of course, is the man right next to you. Saw him in the sophomore game, Dan Brunner, Terry's assistant. Of course, Dan, the head football coach. They were Parkland champs, West Division champs in 1980.
Lob feed inside. Masevich brings it down. Too far into the basket. This is Krieger with the jumper. Oh, it's in and out.
Oh, as they say, it didn't want it. That went all the way down and came right out.
Krieger, most of his shots looking very pure tonight. That one just would not go down in spite of itself.
Well, he's got the nice advantage. You know, when he takes that turnaround, there's no one really here to match him right. Oh!
Pat Jost hits the jumper from the baseline. He's got 4 points, and it's a tie game again.
Well, they can look to him for scoring. When he gets out, of course, Randy Crone, the leading scorer rebounder, he went out with foul trouble about halfway through the first quarter. I expect to see him back pretty soon, though.
There's that man-to-man defense after the made shot. Krieger goes up and scores. The shot counts, and he's called for the offensive foul.
Well, it'll be interesting to see that one again. John Kloppenberg coming underneath. And, of course, man goes up in the air. Most of the time, the referee's going to give it the off. Let's see. What do you think here, Jim? You call it this time, huh? Here he goes. Well, yeah, maybe,
he just barely got there.
That's a tough call all the time, of course.
Now, they say that's the toughest call to make for an official, is the block or the charge. And now on the line is John Kloppenberg, who converted 2 of 2 free throws in the first quarter. He's got 2 points. He'll have a chance to bring this game even again. 14-12 New Berlin.
Here's the other co-captain for the Mariners, senior guard John Kloppenberg, along with Rick Lockwood. Rick not in the game. The co-captains together. Going with the smaller lineup. Kloppenberg in the game. I think they were bringing Crone in, and you'll see either Kloppenberg or Lockwood come out then.
Coming into this game, Kloppenberg only 47% from the free throw line. Or I should say, no, a little bit over that. And he makes his 4th out of 4, and it's a tie game again, 14-14.
And he's rewarded with coming out of the ball game. And Randy Crone did come in for him, as I thought, so